Go.
Imagine forgetting how to brush your teeth, bake a cake, or even forgetting your own name. I think we all can agree that as we get older, we tend to become more forgetful, but sometimes this forgetfulness can be a disease known as dementia. Although we may not all know someone with dementia, many of us do, and we know what it's like to look someone to go through these stages of memory loss. Living with dementia or any forms of dementia is a very traumatic way to live in one's geriatric years. The Alzheimer's Association, Mayo Clinic, and Better Health Channel states what dementia is, how it affects the brain, and the effects on the patient and family of the disease. My name is Brianna Jenkins, and I am very impassioned about the elderly. Today I will explain what dementia is, the different types of dementia, and how it affects the family and the patient. Let's start by looking at what dementia is. According to the Alzheimer's Association, dementia is progressive memory loss and impaired thinking skills due to many different causes. These symptoms can become severe enough to interfere with the person's ability to perform everyday activities. Other factors that affect those with dementia is impaired communication skills, inability to focus and pay attention, and poor judgment and reasoning. The next thing we will look at is the different types of dementia and how they affect a person's brain. According to the Mayo Clinic, dementia involves damage to the nerve cells in the brain and can involve many different areas of the brain. The most common type of dementia are Alzheimer's disease and vascular dementia, but Lewy body dementia and frontotemporal dementia are also known forms. The age range is anywhere from 60 to 85, but has been seen in people as young as 40. Oftentimes, the younger you get the disease, the faster it progresses. Here's an example of a normal brain scan, would be the brighter colors representing the activity of the brain. This would be an example of a dementia brain, whereas the dark purple is all dead nerve cells with very little brain activity, and compared Alzheimer's disease affects different areas of the brain compared to frontotemporal dementia. Next, we'll look at how this disease affects the patient and the family, while also looking at ways in which to cope with the disease. The Better Health Channel states that dementia not only has physical changes, but it also has emotional changes, not only for the patient, but also for the family and caregivers. The emotional effects of dementia can be very difficult for the patient, but also just as bad, if not worse, for the caregivers and family. It can be very emotionally draining to forget who you are and who your family and friends are. Also, for the family, it's very difficult to cope with the reality that their loved one no longer remembers them or acts the way they used to. Being supportive of the family is just one reasonably simple way in which caregivers can be supportive as they go through these difficult times. But it's also a difficult time for caregivers, in which one of the best ways to deal with the emotional effects of dementia is by taking one day at a time, by making the best of the challenges that arise as the disease progresses. Finally, we'll look at the main points and the effects of dementia as the person and family. Today we have looked at what dementia is, the different types of dementia, and how it affects the patient and their family. Dementia is clearly a sad disease to go through and watch happen. There are many different types, and it can be very hard for both the patient and the family to go through. I hope this gives you all a better understanding of what dementia is and all of its effects. In conclusion, dementia is something that affects many of the elderly population. It's something that is very hard to go through and affects the brain in many different ways. Caregivers and family cope with this disease one day at a time while doing their best to remain positive.